Rumors have been swirling around a February state of play for some time now. They've all mostly indicated that Sony would feature a state of play on February 3rd, one headlining Horizon Forbidden West's upcoming release. Last year, every state of play took place on a Thursday, and was announced on the Tuesday beforehand, -1, and so these rumors made sense. However, it seems as if 2022 could see Sony changing up its announcement pattern, or it could be that this state of play is an exception to the rule. As it turns out, Sony is hosting the first state of play of 2022 very soon, but it's nothing like rumors suggested. Via the PlayStation blog, Sony has announced that the first state of play for 2022 takes place this week, on February 2nd via YouTube and Twitch. It'll stream live starting at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 p.m. Central European Time. While most state of plays feature a bevy of games, it seems that this state of play will focus entirely on PS5 footage and gameplay details for Gran Turismo 7. That's all Sony had to say about the presentation, so it'll be interesting to see what it shows for Gran Turismo 7 on February 2nd. The only other note in the announcement is that, regarding co-streaming and video on demand, is that Sony welcomes its co-streamers and creators to do their thing but warns that it may include copyrighted material that fans will need to omit. Recently, there have been rumors that Gran Turismo 7 was suffering internal delays that would, according to these rumor mongers, delay the game's release from its March 4th release date. However, after these rumors appeared online, Sony dropped a Gran Turismo 7 trailer called Find Your Line, focused on how the PS5's DualSense adaptive triggers and enhanced visuals bring the racing to life. This trailer reaffirmed Sony's commitment to release Gran Turismo 7 on March 4th, and while the timing wasn't likely intentional, it was quite the jab at the rumors. Not to mention, alongside the look at these trailers, it's also been confirmed by official storefronts that Gran Turismo 7 takes up 110 GB of storage space. So, it's not exactly like the game is some mystery that will be delayed, but if anything, that makes what Sony intends to show in terms of new PS5 footage and gameplay details on February 2nd even more interesting for fans. It is very clever from a strategical standpoint, as they did the same thing for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart before the release of Returnal, so a 30-minute state of play is definitely intriguing before the release of Horizon Forbidden West, and we are gonna cover the entire state of play and all the details revealed there in a separate video. Also, we recently got news that Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring has gone gold. So, there will be separate videos about those before their release also. Now moving forward, a few days ago, Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard had heads around the industry spinning, thinking of the consequences the buyout would have on the video game industry at large. Consolidation can be a frightening thing, as it seems the doors have been blown open due to the Bethesda and Activision purchases, meaning any company is now in the realm for an acquisition. However, events like these tend to spur competition, and now a new player may be planning to enter the ring in the form of Apple. According to one leaked report, Apple is making moves to enter the gaming space with its own dedicated console. Apparently, the company has been poaching engineers from the other console manufacturers to help get the console specifications laid out. It isn't exactly sure if the console will be VR-oriented or if it will include VR at all. It also states that the console could have some sort of metaverse implementation as well. Apple could explore a ton of different ideas, but we don't know if this console will ever come to fruition or if Apple has cancelled it already. The report suggests that Apple would maybe want to go toe-to-toe with the Chinese tech giant Tencent by making content for their own, by having their own first-part studios. Maybe Tencent could be also dipping its foot in the console market sooner or later. A gaming console from Apple would indeed be interesting to see, but the timing would be strange, as Apple could have entered this industry a long time ago, so why now? In any case, if any console were to arise from Apple, don't expect a traditional console in the vein of a PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, or Nintendo Switch, as it would likely be something that was digital only and took advantage of VR, as well as have some metaverse implementation. If an Apple console comes to fruition, it will be interesting to see how it would be received in today's slightly overcrowded market. There was once a time when the video game industry was fraught with competition over platforms. Home consoles battled with arcade machines for supremacy, and handheld devices cropped up in all kinds of forms. Nowadays, things couldn't be more different. The PlayStation and the Nintendo console family all reign supreme in the world of console gaming, as well as Xbox. These three have cemented themselves as the definitive groups of gaming devices. Nevertheless, this rumor has it that tech giant Apple wants to put that stranglehold to the test. Apple certainly has the wealth and technological expertise to try developing a game console, considering the overwhelming success of the iPhone and the Mac line of computers. Apple's experience and resources may not be enough to break into the industry, however. If the Apple console rumors are true, then Apple will only be the latest in a long line of tech companies who have tried to break into the game console market and struggled to find purchase. An Apple console would need some serious technological advancements or breathtaking exclusive games to attract users, but considering how far Sony and Nintendo have come, creating those features will be no small feat in the last few years. Some major tech companies have made earnest attempts to establish themselves as members of the video game industry. In 2019, Google tried to find a place for itself in the gaming market with the cloud gaming device known as Google Stadia, but Stadia received some mixed reviews on launch and has since failed to attract as much support as the Xbox or PlayStation. Amazon has also struggled with gaming. Cloud gaming service Amazon Luna doesn't turn many heads from consumers, and Amazon Game Studios has faced difficulties in its attempts to support games like Crucible and New World. Amazon and Google have made revolutionary impacts on the world's relationship with technology, but even so, this somehow hasn't translated into a sudden rise to the top of the game industry. Video game fans have proven comfortable with their Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch consoles. These users have little reason to switch to Stadia or Luna, especially considering how Microsoft and Sony have expanded into cloud gaming. If Apple wants to avoid repeating the lukewarm reception to Stadia and Luna, it needs to make its own console special somehow, for example building first-party studios from the ground up and create new IPs. The organic growth is all I need if Apple wants to jump into the console race. Ultimately, even though Apple and its peers are massive companies, history has proven that Sony and Nintendo have thoroughly dominated the console market, and at the end of the day all that matters is the games. The futuristic sci-fi shooter franchise Crysis is well known for pushing the limits of hardware. In fact, the Crysis series would consistently push system requirements, spawning a meme among fans who would ask, "But can it run Crysis?" when talking about something with high system requirements. In addition to being a popular meme, the franchise itself would eventually come to consoles, vastly expanding the reach of the series to help it become a fan-favorite franchise. Following the launch of Crysis 3 in 2013, the series has seemingly been put on hiatus as developer Crytek has moved on to other projects like Hunt Showdown, as well as going through a restructuring and new leadership. The Crysis franchise would remain in the public eye, however, thanks to recent remasters of the earlier games, which now appears to have also been a hint at more to come. Following an accidental leak by Crytek China, Crysis 4 was officially revealed through a new trailer. The trailer for Crysis 4 is a short one, and the description admits that the game appears to be very early in development, so fans shouldn't expect to see this game for some time. The teaser flashes through what appears to be a city being destroyed and falling apart, potentially due to solar flares. However, from the rubble, the number 4 is shown, almost as if it was woven together into a nanosuit, which is technology that the Crysis protagonists utilize. While the trailer is there to simply tease the upcoming game, Crytek CEO Avni Yerli also posted a new blog with the announcement. The studio confirms that the game is in early stages of development, but the team couldn't wait to share the news with the community, answering an often asked question regarding when a new Crysis game would be revealed. Yerli also confirmed the project to be a next-gen shooter, which should make longtime fans happy, as Crysis 4 will likely be pushing the technological and hardware limits once again. In the meantime, both fans new and old can get up to speed on the franchise through the Crysis Remastered trilogy. Recent updates have continued to improve the game, especially on the PC side of things, with support for deep learning super sampling as well as the removal of the controversial DRM software de novo. The anti-tamper software isn't popular with fans for many reasons, and development studios have been removing the tool from a variety of games as a result. The Crysis franchise is far more than just a pretty face, with a shocking amount of lore to support its apocalyptic science fiction storyline. The story actually begins 500 million years ago, when a menacing alien race known as the Ceph successfully colonized the M33 galaxy, and began producing seeding ships to spread to other worlds. Flash forward to 65 million years ago and 3 of these ships enter our solar system. One lands on Jupiter, the other on Mars, and the final ship collides with Earth, causing a cataclysmic event that wipes out the dinosaurs. The Ceph remains mostly dormant, awakening periodically to observe the advancement of life on Earth. Human beings prove to be interesting to the Ceph, so they study our species and begin to learn about our habits and social structures. Many centuries later, a researcher named Jacob Hargreave discovers the first signs of alien Ceph technology in Siberia. Around the same time, an explosion known as the Tunguska event, an actual historical disaster, devastated a large area of land in Russia. Hargreave, along with other colleagues, travels to this location to investigate. Most of what happened in this expedition is unknown, however most of the crew were killed, with only Hargreave among others being the survivors. Hargreave was found by British forces set up in the region, and ended up in possession of alien technology to better prepare for the threat that the Ceph posed to society. Advance the clock all the way to 2016, and the nanosuit has been created. Although a powerful piece of armor, there are concerns about the consequences of extended use, specifically symbiosis, and affecting the user's mental state. Leading into the first Crysis game, the United States has been launching offensives against crime syndicates in South America. While there, a team of 3 Army Rangers discover an anomaly called the Spike Tower, which seemed to have turned an entire village into fanatics. This tower was later confirmed to be Ceph technology, in the alien species' attempt to gain control over the human race. North Korea then begins to notice odd signals coming from an island off the Lingshan archipelago. North Korea evacuates the island, as a distress signal from Dr. Rosenthal's daughter, Helena, is sent to the United States. The following week, United States forces deploy a 5-man nanosuit team to save Dr. Rosenthal's research team and recon the island. The team, led by a man named Prophet, search the island while contending with Ceph attackers. 2 of the team members are killed, only leaving the members Psycho, Nomad and Prophet, the leader, alive. While on the island, Prophet is taken prisoner by the Ceph, leaving Nomad to save Helena. He eventually finds her, flees the island while it is nuked in an attempt to destroy the aliens. This proves futile, as the Ceph counterattack on the human fleet, destroying their ships and leaving Helena, Nomad and Psycho no choice, but to return to the island after hearing a distress signal from Prophet. 3 years after the events of the first game, Crysis 2 takes place in New York City, plagued by an unknown virus in 2023. The player controls a Marine named Alcatraz, who after being found almost dead, is given a nanosuit by Prophet before he seemingly commits suicide. He is tasked by Prophet to track down a scientist named Nathan Gould, something much easier said than done with Ceph forces roaming around the city. Eventually, after many intense battles and catastrophic destruction done to the city, Alcatraz does succeed in locating Nathan Gould. Alcatraz and Gould then team up with an undercover CIA agent named Tara Strickland, as well as Jacob Hargreave, the founder of Crynet and the creator of the nanosuit. After further struggle, Alcatraz eventually enters the Ceph core in New York and wipes out all the alien threats in the city. In the process, Alcatraz is in critical condition and sees a memory pattern of Prophet, whose DNA is revealed to be merged with Alcatraz. The closing chapter of the Crysis trilogy kicks off in 2047, in a post-apocalyptic New York encased in a giant nanodome. Prophet returns on a mission against Cell, the agents of Crynet, after he discovers the truth behind why they built the quarantine nanodomes. While Prophet was gone, Cell used Ceph technology to create unlimited energy, and created a monopoly on the world's power supply. Those who could not pay for this energy were enslaved by debt to Cell. The source for this power supply, called System X, is located in New York. Prophet joins a resistance group to destroy System X and free the world from Cell. With the help of Psycho, Prophet disables System X, but it turns out this machine was designed to contain the Alpha Ceph while draining its energy. The Alpha Ceph escapes, creating a wormhole to its home world, with the intent of returning to terraform the planet and ultimately destroy all living life on its surface. Prophet unlocks the true abilities of his suit after disabling a neural block, and suffice it to say, is able to overcome the Ceph in the end. The trilogy concludes with Prophet on the same island where the events of the original Crysis took place 27 years prior. He throws away his dog tags, relinquishing his past. This is the shorted history of the Crysis universe, and I can't wait to be blown away when the gameplay is revealed. Crytek is one of the studios that push graphics to its limits. So, I hope that happens with this one also, and they really need to work on some variety and improved storytelling, utilizing the lore. With the advent of game-building software enabling gamers of all ages to design and develop whatever creative visions they have, it's only a matter of time before certain projects extend beyond the space of a game engine. One such example of this is Dreams, whose untethered abilities are now entering the world of film production. Dreams is billed as an immersive game creation system, and based on the onslaught of projects produced since its release 2 years ago, it's fair to say that Media Molecule's service lives up to the title. Not content with just creating games and sculptures, Sony Pictures Classics has announced it is using Dreams software to produce its next movie, titled A Winter's Journey. The movie is in development thanks to OIFI and Breakthrough Films based in London, who have previously worked with Netflix. The latter is famous for its artisan short films that constantly push the boundaries of animation, be it stop motion, hand-drawn art or CGI. Examples include Peter and the Wolf, its first short film which went on to win an Oscar, and Loving Vincent, a hand-painted biopic about Vincent van Gogh. Now it is ready to try out a new medium through Dreams to engineer the environments where the film will take place. A Winter's Journey is set in 1812 and tells of a poet's adventure through precarious yet beautiful Bavarian landscapes. The movie's backdrop will be constructed in Dreams, but other elements like actors and props are set to be live action, blending the two mediums together. Edit tools provide a useful utility for solo and team developers to build models from the ground up or alter pre-existing designs similarly to SFM and Blender animation tools, but the additional gaming angle allows for more immersive and interactive environments when compared to a more passive watching experience. Many players have been able to realize their dreams with the software, whether it be recreating classic game locations or their favorite movie characters. Dreams is a logical next step for indie filmmakers to experiment with bringing their stories to the screen, in much the same way for indie game developers using it as a creation tool for a playable medium. The parent company for the project is a Sony subsidiary, so Media Molecule and the movie studios involved stand to benefit from the visionary project while keeping costs comparatively low. A Winter's Journey is still in development and estimated to be released in 2023. The potential of Dreams is extremely huge, and as I've said it many times, Dreams need an upgraded PS5 native version with more accessible features and more power, and hope Media Molecule hears this request. Speaking of Media Molecule, it's been over 7 years since Little Big Planet fans were last treated to an entry into the main series of games. Back in November 2020, Sackboy: A Big Adventure gave fans of the series a return to the world of Sackboy, but without a creation mode for players to make their own levels, many were left feeling as though this wasn't a Little Big Planet game at all. At the release of a new generation of consoles, it seemed strange for most that Little Big Planet, one of Sony's most recognizable modern IPs, was left without any announcements. Fans of the Little Big Planet series may be about to be rewarded for their patience though, as a recent job listing has caused many to speculate that work on Little Big Planet's latest entry in the series, most likely to be titled Little Big Planet 4, has already begun. If this is to be the case, then it may not be long before Sony releases an announcement confirming Sackboy's return to PlayStation consoles, along with all the creative elements Little Big Planet is so well known for. A job listing is located at Sumo Digital. One of the developers that has worked on recent Little Big Planet games is looking for an experienced level designer to join the team. What has fans suspecting that Sumo Digital is already working on a Little Big Planet title is a mention of joining an experienced and passionate team and delivering an exciting AAA title, alongside advertising the unknown game as an entry into an already established, multi-million selling franchise. Job listings have led fans to speculate around upcoming games before, and often can indicate features of new titles, such as a job listing for WB Games which indicated an upcoming Wonder Woman title would borrow features from the Shadow of Mordor games. 2022 is looking to be an exciting year for PlayStation 5 owners. With Horizon Forbidden West launching in February, GT7 in March, Forspoken in May, and God of War Ragnarok making its way to Sony platforms later this year, there are plenty of reasons for PlayStation fans to keep hold of their new consoles. However, 2022 could be made that much more exciting for many if Sony were to unveil a new Little Big Planet game. Sony officially confirms the free PlayStation Plus games for February 2022, revealing what fans can claim for free next month. And while there's typically a leak revealing the free PlayStation Plus games ahead of schedule, that didn't happen for the February 2022 lineup. Sony has now pulled the curtain back on the free PS Plus games that fans can add to their digital libraries starting next Tuesday, February 1st. The free PlayStation Plus games for February 2022 consist of 2 PS4 titles and 1 PS5 game. The PS5 offering for February 2022 is Planet Coaster Console Edition, which is a theme park simulator game that was a launch title for the PS5. The PS4 games on offer are EA Sports UFC 4, which is being positioned as the headlining game for the February 2022 lineup, and Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, a Wonderland's one-shot adventure. EA Sports UFC 4 is the latest entry in EA's UFC franchise, originally released in August 2020. EA Sports UFC 4 reviews were generally positive, though there's typically been some backlash whenever Sony has included a sports game as one of the free PS Plus titles. It remains to be seen if fans will have a similar reaction to EA Sports UFC 4 being one of the free PS Plus games for February 2022, but we'll find out soon enough. Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, a Wonderland's one-shot adventure, meanwhile, is a standalone version of the Borderlands 2 DLC Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep. The expansion serves as the inspiration for the upcoming Tiny Tina's Wonderlands game that's set to drop in March, and so that is likely the logic behind making it available as one of the free PlayStation Plus games for February 2022. The Borderlands franchise is fairly popular, though fans may still be upset about Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, a Wonderland's one-shot adventure being one of the free PS Plus games for February 2022. The game retails for a mere $9.99 and can be completed in about 5 hours or so. Not to mention it's been available as Borderlands 2 DLC for nearly a decade at this point, so it really doesn't add a ton of value to the free PS Plus games lineup. Eagle-eyed PlayStation fans noticed that Sony has changed the wording on the promo image for PlayStation Plus's February 2022 lineup. For January 2022, it said that the games were for PlayStation Plus members, but for February it's available this month at no extra cost. It's a small change, but could hint at the possibility of more subscription tiers to come. There is a lot of potential for 2022 to be a big year for PlayStation Plus. Backward compatibility is a big thing that gamers want, and PS3 games have been spotted on the PS5 store, hinting that they're going to pad PlayStation Plus with a big library of older games. Sony Interactive Entertainment President Jim Ryan has hinted at the big changes for Sony in the future, most specifically how the importance of cloud gaming will just grow. Sony will have to come out swinging with something truly impressive if it hopes to grow its services. And that's all for the video, guys. Like and share the video for a greater audience. Comment your thoughts on the topics, and donations are always appreciated. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon, and until then, from SMPV, it's goodbye.